I don't want you to fall into these traps. In fact, I want to do everything in my power to help you to avoid these traps that women fall into when they are dating successful men. Because when you avoid falling into these traps, it will be so much easier for you to attract the wealthy man, to attract the rich man, to attract the kind of guy who you want to attract. So if you're ready to find out how you can attract a wealthy man, then this episode is for you. And if you also want to know what kind of mistakes so many women make when they're dealing with wealthy men, when they're dealing with very successful men, then you will absolutely love this episode. Because when you avoid these mistakes, your life will be so much easier, especially your dating life. And I have to warn you, especially the first point I want to share with you and the last point I want to share with you might shock you. You might also initially disagree with me because you've heard from so many other dating coaches that you have to do the opposite. However, I really want you to think about my words. And I want you to realize that playing hard to get, especially at the beginning of the dating process, does not work. If you're dealing with a very successful man, you have to keep in mind, and this is really important for you to understand, that he has so many options, more options than you can possibly imagine. As a man, if you make more money, your dating options don't double, they don't triple, they don't quadruple, they go up 100 times, 1,000 times, even 10,000 times. So the more money he has, the more women want him. That's a simple fact. So how can we make sure that you get him? And now here comes the important trick. You have to show interest in the beginning. In fact, you should not play hard to get. Yes, after the first date or second date, once he knows that you're interested in him, then you can make him wait. In fact, then it's a good idea to make him wait. When I say I don't want you to play hard to get, I don't mean that you should jump in bed with him on the first date. That's not what I mean at all. When it comes to the dating stage, then letting him wait a little bit is a very good idea because it communicates that you are interested in a serious relationship. And of course, you also want to make sure that he is interested in a serious relationship, because if you jump in bed with him on the first date, then you're risking that he's not really interested in a relationship and he doesn't text you back after a one-night stand. Of course, it's totally up to you if you do that. However, then you're of course in this risky scenario where you can't be sure if he's also interested in a long-term relationship. And when it comes to playing hard to get, this is something that I've experienced with so many Skype coaching clients. So many women have booked Skype coaching sessions with me. And by the way, if there's anything you want to discuss with me, if there's anything you want to share with me, you can go to gethimkeephim.com/coaching to have a look at the different coaching sessions I offer. But yes, when it comes to you playing hard to get in the beginning, so many women who have coached made this mistake before they started working with me. They assumed that making him wait, not replying for 3 days to a text message, not immediately picking up the phone, and also in the worst case, flaking on a date right before the date and then trying to reschedule it will make them more attractive. But this only works with broke guys. This only works with guys who have no options. Please listen to these words carefully. I mean, yes, you can disagree with me. You can also ignore this advice. But from so many Skype coaching sessions, and also, I mean, from my own life, I'm also a very successful man. I know that successful men have options. And if you're playing too hard to get in the beginning, he will simply move on. And this is what happened to countless of my Skype coaching clients before they started working with me. So please, in the beginning, when it comes to the initial dating stage, when it comes to setting up a date, when it comes to showing your interest, when it comes to showing up on the first date, make sure that you communicate your interest directly. And then later on, when it comes to intimacy, then you can make him wait and then you can focus on the emotional connection first. And the second trap that so many women fall into when it comes to dating wealthy men is that they assume that his wealth makes him a good person. Here at the Meet Your Millionaire podcast, I want to show you and I want to help you to find your wealthy and successful man. I want to help you no matter in what financial situation that you're in right now, no matter if you're a college student listening to this or if you're a CEO of a big company. I want to help you to meet and attract a wealthy man, because that's what you want and it's okay that you have this desire. But assuming that his wealth makes him a good person, this is a big trap. I mean, this is a trap that you see over and over again played out in movies. Best example, 50 Shades of Grey. And no, please don't believe for one moment that when you're dating a multimillionaire who's completely narcissistic or a psychopath, that it will end like in the last 50 Shades of Grey movie, where he suddenly turns into a loving husband and loving father. This is a movie, it's fantasy. In reality, things look different. And I know that because I've helped several women to break free from toxic relationships, to heal after toxic relationships with narcissists, and to finally trust again and to date again. So please don't assume that his wealth makes him a good person. And unfortunately, some women get blinded by status, get blinded by a man's wealth, which is completely natural. However, in this moment, you have to ask yourself, is he actually a good person? Because assuming that he has certain qualities that make him a good person just because he's wealthy, that's a big trap. Of course, that doesn't mean that you can't meet an amazing wealthy man. Don't get me wrong. I have many friends who are millionaires, business partners, and a lot of them are incredible men. However, I would not immediately assume it. So always be careful, always make sure that you look out for red flags. And then also don't assume that he is generous. Just because a man is wealthy doesn't mean that a man is generous. If you, for example, read the book, I think it's called Millionaire Next Door or something, which is full of studies, or one big study, I can't even remember it, of how millionaires accumulated their wealth. There are a lot of millionaires who don't want to spend any money, not even on experiences with their partners. So that's also something that you have to keep in mind. Not every wealthy man is generous. That's something that you can only find out in the dating process. And speaking of the dating process, if you then meet a handsome, amazing, generous, wealthy man, then you want to make him so devoted to you that even though he has so many options when it comes to other women and when it comes to dating other women, you want him to only have eyes for you and to choose you. And the best way to make sure that he won't even look at other women is to make him so devoted to you that other women don't exist for him anymore. And if you want to have the power to make him devoted to you, you can go to gethimkeephim.com/devoted. That's gethimkeephim.com/devoted, or you can simply click on the first link in the description, then watch this video till the very end, and then you have the opportunity to invest in an incredible program that has helped so many of my clients to make their man devoted to them. And you can also go alternatively to gethimkeephim.com/system if you prefer reading about the devotion sequence and how you can use it. And another trap that a lot of women fall into when it comes to successful men is that they don't use one of the simplest seduction techniques when it comes to attracting wealthy men, and that's the mentor-student dynamic. In other words, they don't ask the right questions. So many women believe that they have to impress this man by being impressive, by trying to impress him with their qualities, with ideas, with their achievements. But what's way more effective, and if you don't believe me, then I urge you to try it out. What's way more effective is to put yourself in the position of the student. Even if you are a high six-figure earning woman, doesn't matter. The student mentorship dynamic will make it so much easier for you to attract a wealthy man, because wealthy men love to teach, successful men love to mentor. And if you then put yourself in this position where you want to find out more about him, about his career, you ask exciting questions about his career, about his business, this will not only allow him to put himself into this mentorship position, which in itself is already attractive for him, but you also in the process establish an emotional connection, which makes it easier for him to feel like, hey, this woman truly gets me, this woman understands me. And now let's have a look at trap number 5, and that's to not be grateful for his generosity. Let's say you meet a wealthy man who is incredibly generous. He takes you on an amazing holiday. He invites you to the best steakhouse in town. And what do? You don't show gratitude. No. You don't do that because you are a listener and hopefully also a subscriber of the Meet Your Millionaire podcast, which means you are an amazing human being, an incredible woman, and I know that you have the potential to show deep gratitude for his generosity. Because the more gratitude you show him for being generous, the more grateful you are for him being generous, the more generous he will be, and that's a win-win situation. You will make him feel better by being grateful, and he will make you feel better by being generous. And now let's have a look at the next trap. And that's to not admire him for his achievements, but instead to brag about your achievements. And don't get me wrong, a lot of very wealthy and successful men are attracted to intelligent women. They're attracted to accomplished women. However, your specific career achievements or your specific salary doesn't really interest him that much. I know this is politically incorrect to say because women have been brainwashed nowadays to believe that men are attracted to your achievements. But no, that's simply not the truth. Don't get me wrong, they are attracted to your qualities that led you towards these achievements, your intelligence, your ambition. However, the achievements itself don't really matter that much to men. If you instead focus on admiring him for his achievements, he will be putting in your hands. In fact, you will be able to attract him so fast because admiration is pure kryptonite for wealthy men, in fact for every man. But of course, when you're dealing with a successful man, you are actually authentic when you're admiring him for his success. And now let's have a look at the last trap that I want to share with you that women fall into when they're dating successful men. And that's to always remember that successful men have their own minds and that trying to control him on a micro level during a first date is not a good idea. So for example, if he orders a certain drink and you then say, if I were you, I would order the other drink. That one's better. Or if he, for example, orders a certain dish and you then say, do you really want to eat that? I think this one is better. Be careful with that. Successful men are very ambitious. They are often very dominant in their career fields and they are not easily controllable. I mean, if you're looking for a man who you can easily control, then looking for a highly ambitious, successful man is not the best idea. But if you want to attract a man who is successful, who is generous, who is also handsome and simply amazing, then you want to make this man devoted to you. And that's why I want to invite you again to click either on the first or the second link in the description to find out more about how you can make your successful dream guy devoted to you. And if you enjoyed watching this video, if you liked it, please give it a big thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section below. Share your opinion, share your thoughts. I would love to hear from you. And I would love it even more if you would hit the subscribe button and smash that notification bell so that you get notified whenever I release a new video for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video.